Well, this is a fine mess you've gotten yourself into. Why? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been quite a bit of time between videos, but the shop in the basement here was heated by a cheap Chinese diesel heater I'd run for a few years, and that thing crapped out. So it's been quite cool down here, and the wife and I really don't like working in the cold, so I bought a mini split heat cooling system to install, and it took a couple weeks for that to come, and got it installed myself, but the weather's been kind of wacky. It goes from 70-degree weather to 40-degree weather. And so I haven't, took longer than I thought to install it, and I'm having trouble getting the coolant lines to seal properly. So we'll get back to working on models as soon as I finish that.
One eternity later.
So I have the cowl cut out for the new pipes, and there's quite a bit you have to cut out. So that's one thing, but then what else I found out is the spark plugs will hit the side of the cowl, and I'll show you that real quick. So the spark plugs are too close to the cowl on both sides. And from what I'm seeing, I'm going to need to practically cut this nearly entire circle out where the fake exhaust pipe goes, and to get the spark plugs to fit in there. So that's one more thing I got to work on. All right, so the BDX needs to be updated, and what I've got for the BDX, some graphics from Cali's Graphics, and this is the Super Chipmunk that would go on the airplane. So something like that, and there's a bunch of other graphics in here that need to go on. So there's that. I want to get that done before our first event, which is in April, a jet event at our own club. And also, we're pulling out the Jet Central Mammoth. And the reason is, it's an old school engine. It's just too doggone heavy for this airplane. I'm flying tail heavy, and I'd like to get the balance better. Although the thing has tons of power and runs every time without a problem, I really want something lighter. And so what I've got, I went ahead and got, is a Swiwin 240 from CRX Turbines in New York. And I've had another, my 190 is from him as well, and he's done work on my 190, and quality has been excellent, and the service has been unbelievable from Andy at CRX Turbines. So That's why I'm going to put this 240 in there. The other reason is it's 1.3 pounds lighter than the Jet Central. And we're talking about the engine sits just back here behind the CG. So I take a pound out behind the CG, it'll improve my balance a lot. So hopefully we'll get that done before their first jet event and get a test flown. And I'll be showing the process here on the channel. So there's that. Back to work. All right, everyone. I've got the turbine, the new 240 mounted on the test stand. It's tied, strapped down, fueled up. It's primed, ready to go. So I'm going to test it and start it up and see how it runs. Things I'm looking for is I don't want to see excessive flames at the tail. I want to make sure that it starts and stops. We'll probably do that several times. And also I'll test the restart function and see if it restarts. It should, if it ever has a flame out in the sky, it'll try to restart itself. So that's what we're going to do.
A few moments later.
Well, guys, after a little tinkering, I discovered that my endpoints in the radio were not set right to run the turbine. So once I reset them and I got the ECU calibrated to my throttle settings, it started up just fine. So let's give this another go.
Max reached.
All right, so the auto restart is not working. I've got to go through the menus and see what I can do about that. And the acceleration got better after this second throttle up. I may need to adjust the acceleration a little bit. So anyway, we'll tinker with it and get it running really good before we put it into BDX. All right, guys, after a successful test run on the Sweetwind 240, I've got the BDX in the shop on the table. We need to pull this jet central out. We need to pull the electronics tray out, which is going to be the hardest part of this. The turbine will come out with 4 screws, disconnect the wire and 2 hoses, and that's that easy. Getting this electronics bay out is going to be tough because the wires are fairly tight underneath, and I may have to disconnect some stuff to get the tray out so that we can get to the fuel pump and the engine control unit underneath of this. So there's that, and well, I guess we'll just get to it. All right, time to pull this jet central engine out. Get this out first, and then I'll remove the engine control unit and the pump. This is the easiest part here. Just check the distance between the end of the tail cone and the bulkhead so that I can place the other turbine about in the same place. And then my distance to the pipe should be right on the money, hopefully. Okay, it's loose. Yeah. 2 fuel lines. And smoke oil line. The turbine's out. I just have to remove the smoke oil nozzles and put them on the other turbine. And make sure I put plugs in those. Okay. Alright guys, here we go. I'm going to show you the weight difference between these 2 turbines. So this is the jet central, 5.270 on the scale. I'm going to push the tare button, and now I'm going to put the Sweetwind on, Sweetwind 240. That is a difference of 1.21 pounds. $1.215 pound difference between the 2 turbines. And just to show you what the actual weight of the Sweetwind is, I think if I just re-zero this, put it on there. $4.0 6 pounds. So that's a drastic difference when it comes to the balance of the airplane, considering it's behind the CG on this airplane. So that'll mean I'll be able to take some lead out of the front of it and reduce the overall weight, and a lighter airplane flies better. So on to the next thing. We need to pull the ECU and fuel pump up for the jet central out and put the SWE-wind stuff in. Alright, back to work. Okay guys, with the turbine now out, I can take the equipment bay tray, lift it up, and to get to the engine control unit and the pump underneath, fuel pump. See how this goes. Already drained the fuel out of the tank, and I got some of it out of the fuel pump as well, so hopefully we won't get too much spillage in here from the lines. Just going to put a plug in there, keep it from spilling as much as I can. This is a line to the fuel pump underneath. Now, this is a fuel tank line. I have a coupler in place, and this was because I figured I probably would have to undo this at some time. There's that. The smoke oil line. Do that one too. I've got a mess of wires holding this thing in place, so I'll cut to after I get it out. Okay, I've got the equipment bay lifted up, a couple of power wires to the power box, or the move flight unit holding it. I'm starting to disconnect the jet central fuel pump, and get the screws out. Now the new SWE-wind pump will only need one fuel line. The jet central has two, a 4mm and a 3mm. The 3mm line is for startup. Okay, there's the fuel pump. I just need to transfer this line to the other pump. I need to take this engine wire out as well. Need to remove this 3mm line, don't need it anymore. Not sure if it will just pull out. Might be loose enough. There's that. Okay, there's the engine control wire. And that should be it for the, oh, I have the B-Speak unit, which is the telemetry translation unit to remove. No longer need that. Okay. Out with that stuff, in with the new. You have to shorten that line a little bit. Looks like everything's going to sit about like that. Alright, so I've got the new Sweewin pump and ECU in place. I'm about ready to close up the equipment bay. So here's the ECU, power lines, and the RC data cables and stuff. And I have a little goop on them to make sure they don't come out. There's the fuel pump, smoke pump over there. So just getting ready to close this thing out, and then I'll test it and make sure I've got proper signal and the pump is working and there's no leaks, and we'll be good to go. Hey everyone, I've got the turbine completely installed now. It's aligned and spaced properly for the pipe in the back, and as you can see, I've got the smoke oil nozzles in place. The panel is reinstalled. All the lines are hooked back up. I just have a some radio updating to do, and we'll be ready to fly again.